Okay, so next video, now I've shown you how we clean it out, we're now going to put it on. So, there's many different ways of doing this. I'm not saying the way that we do it is the best way, and I'm quite sure there's a lot of better people at doing this than I am, but the way we do it, so everything's all clean, you can see there's no ash in there or anything else. I will quickly say that you don't have to clean it out every single time. It depends how much ash is in there, because from what I understand and from what people have told me, if there's a bit of ash in there, it actually helps get an ignition. So it actually helps with the fire if there is some ash in there. So when you clean it out, if you want to leave a tiny bit of ash in there, it's not going to matter. The main reason we clean it out is when it gets too full, because you don't need to compact all the air vents, but you just want to make sure that it's either clean or you've got some ash in there because it will help. So the way I do it is you have your main log, which we bought these online, sorry, and I think it came in about a ton pallet or something like that. You then have your, what they call the kindling, which are the smaller pieces that you use to start the fire with, and then we use this was brilliant. So we bought this, I think it was from Amazon, and it came, I think it was 500 in a box. So basically what these are, is these are little pieces of thin strips of wood that are twisted with, I think it's wax, and these are basically like your fire starters. You can use the chemical version of fire starters that people use on like their barbecues and everything else. I personally don't like them because they are chemically and they do smell. Well, this is all natural. It's just basically wood and some wax, and they work really, really well for us. So the way that I would do it is to open the door. I'm going to move this out of the way. So what I normally do is I put one of the big logs at the back, right at the back, and then I'll get probably about 4 of the wax, and I'll just basically put it in front of it. Remember, once again, this is not like the best way how to do it or anything, and sometimes if I can't really be bothered, I might even put 50, because basically, they'll last ages. If there's 500 in their box, I mean, you can see, if you have a quick look in the box, you can see how little we've literally used. We've probably used less than a third of this box, and we've had this probably a year, if not longer than that. And then sometimes some of it kind of falls to pieces, so I'll throw some of that in there as well. And all it's supposed to do is to help with the thing. So I've also got the kindling, but I'm not going to put the kindling in straight away. What I'll do is I will now light those starters, make sure they've got some heat going, and then I'll put them in afterwards. And the main reason why I put the big log in is because what I've noticed in the past, if you don't put the big log in and you just start with the fire lighters and the kindling, they don't necessarily have a good start with the big log. So when you put the big log in afterwards, it sometimes has difficulty lighting. So if I put it in there from the beginning, it's not going to light straight away, but it'll start to get rid of some of the moisture and heat it up in preparation. So as you can imagine, there's multiple ways to light that. People use paper. You can use, people use like, just throw some paper in there and light that as well. I personally don't do that. You can use a standard barbecue lighter, like this if you want to, but I've realised that I'm not a super huge fan of that, considering that it's never really got any gas in it. Doesn't matter if I fill it up, like the next time I come to use it for some reason, it's just never got anything in it. So we ended up buying this. Now this is a battery powered sparker, as you can see from there. Now obviously don't put your finger in there, or if you do, tell me how it goes, but I wouldn't recommend it. And it's got a bendy kind of section on the top too. So all I literally do is use this to start the fire off on the side of each one of these, or some of them at least, because they'll catch quite quickly. That's the good thing about the wax, you can see. Right, thing to note is this is all about updraft. So it sucks air from the bottom, that's what this is. This valve is at the bottom. Sucks air and it's supposed to go up. So you don't want to leave the door open, you want to actually close it. Now you've got to keep an eye on it, because you'll see the flame start to die down, because it is actually putting less oxygen in there. So I'll open it and close it a bit to let it kind of ignite a bit. So now they're all up. Now I just put these over the top. And I put quite a few in, because you can put less in. I'm sure people can light this properly with less, but I like to just make sure you get a lot of heat in there. So then I will leave the door ever slightly open, just a little bit, and that should stop a lot of the smoke coming out. It still should go up. But what it's also doing is it's allowing a bit more oxygen in, right? Because if I close that, it might not necessarily die, but because it's got to suck oxygen through the bottom, you might actually get less in there. Until you've got a good light, you want to leave it slightly open to make sure that it's not going to slowly die down. But once you start to get enough heat in there, the draw effect will suck oxygen in, and you'll actually get a better effect anyway, but only once you've got some heat in there. And the way to do that is, you see your, what's called the flue here, you can actually touch that, and right now I can feel a little bit of warmth. I'm starting to feel some heat, and you can see the fire now really kind of starting to give in. It's really starting to get up, and you see it's going towards the vent, and I can feel the flue starting to get hotter. Now that's a good thing, because that shows that the oxygen's being sucked in at the bottom, and it's pushing that air upwards. So as this gets hotter, I mean, you can see it starting to go now. As that gets hotter, that will get even better. If I open that door now, it's not going to go out, but it'll be less efficient as if I left that door closed, because of the way they're built. So now I would leave it like this and let it do its thing until all these kindling basically become black and they start to turn to hot charcoal. And then what we do, which I'll show you a bit later on, is we will then open this door, because we have a poker as well. I'll then open that door and push those at the bottom, and then I'll get another one of the big logs and put it at the front. So you've got the one at the back here, and I'll put a new one right next to it, and they'll funnel together. And because you've got all that heat in between, it basically produces like a whirlpool effect in the middle, and you end up getting a really decent heat out of it.